Hi, I'm Hannah, physiotherapist from Nuffield Health, and welcome to Nuffield Health 24/7. Today I'm joined by Michaela, a personal trainer, and this is the first in 6 of our Healthy Spine classes. We'll aim to progress the classes each time, so do make sure you do them in order. Back pain is really common and it's often caused by not moving enough. This class will aim to keep your spine mobile and healthy. Remember, if you do find you get any discomfort when doing these exercises, then do stop. And if you do have a pre-existing medical condition, then please seek medical advice. So we'll need some space, a chair, a mat and a bottle of water, and when we're ready, let's get started.
Thanks, Hannah. Okay guys, let's get started. Nice easy march or jog on the spot. Let's get the heart rate up. We're going to start off our warm-up with some stretching, and then we're going to come into our first of 3 blocks of work. Pumping the arms, getting the shoulders moving. We're going to come into some stretches for the neck. So bring your chin down towards your chest, and then extending up, eyes look to ceiling. Again, tuck the chin down towards the chest, and extending up. One more time, coming down and looking up. Let's bring it back to neutral. Go over to the right side and then rotate round to the left. Nice and smooth to the right and to the left. One more time to the right and to the left. Coming into some shoulder rolls. Let's bring the arms back, rotating back, drawing the shoulder blades in, and coming forwards. Lovely. Let's come into some side flexion, bringing your right hand down towards your right thigh, coming back to center and over to the left. Just coming not beyond your normal range of movement. So we're just stretching, warming up here. Lovely. One more time. And over. One more thing for our warm-up, spinal roll down. So soften your knees, tuck your chin, draw down from the hip, we tip, bringing the hands down, and then we roll up slowly through each vertebrae. Allow your head to be the last thing to come up. Let's do that one more time. Bending down nice and slow and smooth. Chin tucked slightly, and as we roll up, the head is the last thing to come up. Great. Now we're warm, let's start with our first block of work. We've got 3 exercises. The first one, we're going to need our chair. We're going to take a seat down into our chair, coming into a squat. So we start off with the feet outside the hips, weight into the heels. We're going to sit our hips back and down, taking a seat into the chair, and then standing up. As we stand up, press down into the heels and lifting. We want to do these exercises for 30 seconds each. So do it at your own pace. Keeping the chest lifted, the weight goes into the heels. Good. One more. That's my 30 seconds. Exercise number 2, we have a static lunge. You can either do this with or without the assistance of the chair. Take 1 foot back. Feet should be hip distance apart. Keep your back heel lifted. We're working the front leg to start, so weight into the front heels. You can either have your hands on your hips, keeping your chest up, or hand on the chair. We take the back knee down and stand up tall. The knee stops over the ankle as we lower down, and we try and get the thigh parallel to the floor. We do 15 seconds on the first leg, and then we step in, we step back, and we do 15 seconds on the second leg. To protect the knee joint, we press the knee out towards second and third toe. Great. Step in, we come into deadlifts. We're going to do these with our hands pressing on our thighs. We tip at the hip, keeping the back nice and long and a neutral spine. Eye gaze follows you to the floor. And then we stand up. This is stretching and working the glutes and the hamstrings. So as we push our hips back, hands slide onto the thighs. And then we stand up tall, squeeze your glutes. Coming down nice and smooth. And up nice and smooth. That's our first round. So let's repeat those again. Exercise number 1. Take our feet outside hips, toes slightly turned out. We sit hips back and down. Engaging the tummy muscles. We keep the chest lifted. And we do this nice and smooth. So we sit down into the chair and we stand tall. Exercise number 2, we're going to come back to our static lunges. Step 1 foot back, feet hip distance, let's go down and up. Push down through the front heel to help you stand up nice and tall. And we keep shoulders over hips. Halfway through, when we've done 15 seconds, step in, step back with the other leg, down and up. Exercise number 3 are deadlifts. Hands on the thighs, tip at the hip, push your hips back and stand tall, squeeze your glutes. Lovely. One more time. Third and final round with these 3 exercises. So reset, feet just slightly turned out, sit hips back and down. Exercise number 2. Static lunge. Feet hip distance, step back, a long stride, keep the back heel lifted. We come down and up. Try and keep your hips square to the front and your chest nice and tall. Halfway through 15 seconds, we step in, we step back. Exercise number 3, back into the deadlifts. Tipping at the hip, lift your chest. Let's push the hips back as we bring hands down onto the thighs and squeeze the bottom to stand tall. And hold. Coming into block number 2. Come on down to the floor, you'll need your mat. We start in 4-point kneeling. Have your hands directly under your shoulders and your knees under your hips. Draw your belly in towards your spine. That's going to engage the muscles of the core and keep a nice long flat back. We start with hip extensions. We'll start with the right leg, extending the leg out and then drawing back in. Again, 30 seconds on each exercise here. We want to focus on keeping the pelvis stable. So press down evenly through both hands. After 15 seconds, we switch and extend the other leg out and in. Remember, doing these at your own pace. The foot comes no higher than the line of the glutes. Hold. Exercise number 2, we come into our box push-up. So your knees stay under your hips, your hands are just slightly wider than your shoulders. We're going to lower our chest down towards the floor. Elbows come back as we lower the chest down between the hands, and then we press away. Coming down and up. Your own pace for 30 seconds. Feeling a squeeze in your shoulder blades. Elbows drawing slightly in and back. So also working the triceps here too. Exercise number 3, we bring hands back under shoulders. We come into cat and cow. We focus on the pelvic tilt, so draw the bottom up to the sky as we lift the chest slightly. As we inhale and exhale, tuck the pelvis under, tucking the tailbone under, drawing the belly button in. Inhale, lifting the bottom up, chest forward. Exhale, drawing everything inwards. We're extending the spine here and flexing the spine. And after 30 seconds, we come back to our first exercise. Keeping the hands under shoulders. Let's start again with the right leg. Extend and draw in. Pelvis stays square, so squeeze your bottom. And extend to the other side. Box push-ups, hands slightly wide of shoulders. Knees under hips, we bring the chest down towards the floor and pressing the floor away. You'll feel a squeeze in the shoulder blades as you draw your chest towards the floor. And we finish this round back in 4-point kneeling. We lift up with the chest and lift the tailbone up, extension, and coming into cat for flexion. Drawing the shoulder blades slightly in as we lift the chest up. Now spreading the shoulder blades open as we draw everything inwards. Again, focus on the movement of your pelvis. Lifting your bottom up to the sky and then tucking everything in. Coming back to neutral before we go for our third round of this block. Extend the right leg and draw it back in. After 15 seconds, switch sides. Taking the hands slightly wider, box push-ups. Lowering the chest down, elbows drawing slightly back. And you'll feel the work in the back of your arms, in your triceps, keeping your knees under your hips. And we finish this round with our cat and cow. Lifting the bottom up, lifting the chest as we inhale, and drawing in as we exhale. Lovely. Coming back and holding in neutral position. We're going to move on to block number 3. Stay on the 4-point kneeling position for some thoracic rotation. With your hand under your shoulder, we're going to lift one arm up, coming around, opening the arm up, and then drawing back towards the floor. Lifting the arm just out to the side, lifting up. So we're rotating through the thoracic spine. Inhale as you lift, and exhale to lower. And once you've done 15 seconds on one side, we switch. Bring your hand under your shoulder, lift the other arm up, rotate, and replace. Remember to breathe. Hold there. Exercise number 2, we roll onto our backs. We come into a glute bridge. Feet are flat on the floor, gently roll down through your spine. Relax your shoulders down away from your ears. Your feet are hip distance apart and your heels are pressed into the floor. We're going to lead this movement from the glutes. So we squeeze the bottom and lift the hips up towards the sky, and then slowly roll back down. Squeeze in the bottom, lifting up. Try and keep your hips even. For our final exercise, we're going to stay laying on our back. We're going to lift one leg up, alternate leg lifts. Moving from the hip, we lift the knees, stopping over the hip, and then we switch to the other side. Lifting up, keeping the shin parallel to the ceiling. Alternate legs. Keeping an engagement with your lower back and the mat. So bring a little bit of tension to your tummy, drawing it in and down, so we can feel that light engagement between the lower back and the floor. and hold after 30 seconds. We come into our second round, coming back to our thoracic rotation, reset our tabletop, lifting the arm up and bringing it back down. 15 seconds on the first arm. Inhale to open, exhale to close. And after 15 seconds, we rotate the other side. Try and focus on keeping your lower body square and level to the floor. So the movement is coming from the upper part of your back, your thoracic spine, around the middle upper back. Coming into our glutes, lower onto your back, rolling down, heels close to your bottom. Now squeeze your bottom and lift up to the sky with your hips, and rolling back down through your spine. Press your heels down into the floor to help stabilize the body. Staying on the floor, we come to our alternate leg lifts, lifting the knee over the hip and switching to the other leg. Third and final round, we roll over, come back to our 4-point kneeling. Neutral spine here, front arm lifts open and close. Roll over for our glutes, 30 seconds of glute work, rolling down. Squeeze the bottom, we lift the hips up, keeping the pelvis level, and lower down. Finishing with our alternate leg lifts. 1, stopping the knee over the hip. 2. If you can keep the lower back nice and supported, we can switch like this in the air, or we can go back to the first round where you lift and lower one at a time. And after 30 seconds, we come into our cool down. So we're going to stay on our back for our cool down. We're going to hug the knees. Draw the knees in towards your chest, keeping your lower back towards the floor. Relax the shoulders. Land the feet onto the floor. Just allow them to roll over towards the right side and the left side. Keep both shoulders grounded here. There's a slight rotation in the back of the body. Coming into a glute stretch, take one foot, pop your foot above the knee joint, flexing the foot, reach through the window of your legs and hug the back of the thigh. Feeling a stretch in the glute that is lifted by pressing the knee forward, away from you, deepening the stretch. And release. Switch sides. Remember to keep breathing here. Flex the foot, push the knee forward and down. Reach for the window. Draw the thigh towards your chest. We release, lifting your right leg up, holding at the back of the thigh. We come into sciatic neural glides. Drawing the knee towards your chest, then extending the leg, drawing the toes towards your shins, we're flexing the foot, and then releasing back down. You'll feel a stretch in the hamstrings. Release that foot down. We switch the other leg, hold at the back of the thigh, knee in, extend the leg, flexing the foot, pressing the heel up, and then bend the knee, release the foot down, extending up, feeling the stretch at the back of the leg. Make sure you only come to the point that feels good for you. Lovely. And when we are finished, we come into a kneeling position. We're going to stretch our hip flexors. Extend your right leg forward, left knee back. We want to draw the knee back, so we're stretching the hip flexor at the top of your left hip. Knee comes in line with the ankle. Hand can come on the thigh, and we lift the chest up. Exhale, drop the hips towards the floor. Now keep breathing. Hold the stretch for around 15 seconds, and then we switch sides. Come into kneeling, left leg comes forward, knee over ankle, extend the right leg back, hands to the thighs. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, sink your hips down. We finish in standing. So gently roll on up, take your time. Finish with a quad stretch. Start with your right foot, bring your heel up to your bottom. You can hold on to your chair, or if your balance is feeling good today, extend your arm out. Release, left side. Try drawing your hips further forward to increase the stretch down the front of your thigh. And release. Well done, everybody.
Thanks, Michaela. I recommend doing this class every other day to feel the benefit. And once you're ready for a harder workout, move on to the next class. Take some time now to rehydrate and recover. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.